Picture this. Your long-running morning show gets canceled. Your mentions are already going crazy. And then at around 3 in the morning, your phone lights up with a DM from one of the biggest artists in the world that says, "Die slower. We got some shit for you." That's the situation Ebro says he's in with Drake. And now his co-host Peter Rosenberg is on camera joking that Ebro should sue over what he sees as a threatening message. So let's break down how we got here, step by step. First, you've got to understand the background. Ebro and Drake have had this on-again, off-again tension for years. Ebro's been one of those radio voices who doesn't mind critiquing Drake's music, his battles, and how he moves in hip-hop. He's also been loud about feeling like Kendrick got the edge in their rap beef. So there's already history and ego between them before any DMs even come into play. Then comes the big shakeup. The morning show Ebro, Rosenberg, and Laura were doing on radio gets axed. One minute it's a staple of New York hip-hop radio. The next minute the company is moving on, and all three are out. Ebro hints that his politics and outspoken nature might have rubbed the powers that be the wrong way. Fans start debating whether the show fell off or whether the station did them dirty. In the middle of that confusion, Drake jumps in from the sidelines. Under a post basically saying "rip to the show," he doesn't write a long essay. He just drops a single little axe emoji, like he's celebrating that the show has been chopped. No words, just that symbol. And everybody instantly knows what he's implying. Ebro and Rosenberg do not let that slide. Rosenberg posts about how behavior like that makes it hard for people to defend Drake when he does things that feel petty or whack. Ebro goes even further and labels Drake as right-wing, grouping him in with people he feels are on the opposite side of his own politics. At this point, it's not just about music. It's getting personal, it's getting ideological, and it's all happening in front of millions of followers. Instead of disappearing, the trio pivots. They spin the end of the radio show into a new YouTube-based show with the same three personalities, Ebro, Laura, Rosenberg. Now they're not confined by a station's rules, and they've got full control of how they respond to everything that's been going on, including Drake's emoji and those private messages. On the first episode of that new show, Ebro decides to pull back the curtain. He says Drake sent him a DM at around 3:30 in the morning, before everything with the show officially switched over. He reads it out loud. "Die slower. We got some shot for you." Then he shows that he actually responded, telling Drake to relax, saying he's just salty about losing a rap battle, and ending with "love bro," trying to play it cool and keep it from sounding like real beef. Now here's where Peter Rosenberg comes in with the line that's got everybody talking. As they're reacting on air, Rosenberg calls Ebro's reply a good response, but then flips into this tongue-in-cheek mode. He says if he were Ebro, he'd do what a lot of big artists do these days, lawyer up. He jokes that it feels like a threat, and that if Drake can take people to court when he feels attacked, maybe Ebro should think about flipping that same energy back on him. He leans into the joke. He mentions having lawyers in his family. He teases the idea of going to court like you, Drizzy, and Ebro plays along, laughing that since he lost one of his jobs, he needs a good rate. On the surface, it's comedy. They're clearly aware that suing over rap world trash talk would look wild to a lot of people. But underneath the jokes, they're also making a point about how far things have gone. Because when you strip it down, the DM has two parts, the "die slower" line and the "we got some shit for you" line. Some people hear that and think, that's just spicy, disrespectful talk, classic hip-hop ego. Others hear it and go, hold on. When someone with that much power and money is telling you to die slower and hinting that they've got something for you, that's not just banter anymore. That's aggressive. Online, the reaction is split. Some folks clown Rosenberg and Ebro, saying they're being dramatic, chasing clout, or playing victim over what they see as just words. Others say Rosenberg is obviously trolling Drake's whole "I'll see you in court" era and turning it into content. And then there are people who are genuinely uncomfortable with the idea of a global superstar sending messages like that to someone who just lost a major job. If you zoom out, this isn't just about one DM. It's about the line between rap-style trash talk and real-world threatening energy. It's about the power difference between a massively successful artist and media personalities who are now rebuilding their careers on digital platforms. It's about how quickly everyone runs to legal language, defamation, threats, lawsuits, instead of just keeping it on wax or letting the back and forth stay verbal. From one angle, you can absolutely see why Ebro and Rosenberg feel like this crossed a line. They've criticized Drake publicly, he clearly didn't like it, and now he's celebrating their show's end and sending hostile messages in the middle of the night. From another angle, you can say Drake is reacting emotionally in the same way a lot of artists do when they feel media voices have been clowning them for years. Intense, petty, but not necessarily literal. So when Rosenberg jokes that Ebro should sue Drake, it works on two levels. It's a joke, but it's also a mirror. He's basically saying, if we're in an era where people run to court over words, don't be surprised if folks start talking about legal action on both sides. Whether that ever turns into a real lawsuit or just stays a viral talking point is another story completely. For now, what we really have is a moment that shows how blurred the lines have become between content, conflict, and consequences. Is this just another chapter in the ongoing back and forth between artists and media? Or is it the kind of situation that pushes everyone to rethink what's acceptable in a DM, even in hip hop culture? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more real, no fluff commentary on stories like this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for my YouTube channel, The Short Clips Podcast. I'll catch you on the next one.